Hello, I'm at the bocce court in Cedars Park in Cheshunt, Hertfordshire, and I'm just going to talk about some problems in this area and what should be done to fix them. There is a group of Italian men who come here regularly, meet here to play bocce, and for several years they have complained that there have been bumps and uneven parts of this surface and the sand isn't that good, and so it's often uneven and it affects the quality of their games as it makes their balls move in different directions. This is caused by children walking, scooting, cycling and digging into the surface, and this can easily be fixed by a small fence around here or even around the area, the surrounding area around the trees, and I'll talk about in a minute why this may be a better idea also. Around this bocce court or around the surrounding area, and this will prevent, with a small gate, this will prevent children coming in here with their bicycles. If signage is installed around this area to strongly discourage people coming in here with their bicycles or scooters or digging it, then as you can see here, we have previously installed our own signage, but this was removed by the council and some of it remains there. You can see it says players only, no children please, and sounds a bit harsh, but really it's just to stop them digging or damaging the surface.
And it worked for a while, but the council ripped it all off.
Yeah, it did work for a while. Yeah. We saw a few parents, just in the short time it was here, a couple of weeks or something, we saw them telling their children not to go on the court because they saw the sign, or their children were on there and they promptly told them to get off. The signs, they were on about
three each side.
The reason a fence around the wider area of this bocce court would be beneficial is because this isn't only just in this area, it's an issue with the whole park, is because children climb on the branches and pull on them and damage them, and they break off the branches, and this leaves exposed flesh and it can cause disease by insects or moisture or anything, and it just doesn't make the park look very nice when all the trees are broken like that. And in this area especially,
around the bocce court,
yeah, these are all fruit trees. These ones are apples, I think, and the other ones are pears.
That's a pear.
Over there are some mulberry trees.
Yeah, and more apples here.
Yeah. And a few of these are memorial trees, or I think one or two of them, and it's a real shame, and it's an issue around the whole park that memorial trees are being damaged, and there's no way to really stop it around the whole park, but the number of trees that are damaged can be reduced by fencing off areas that have trees of interest, or just nice trees that have fruit and that shouldn't be damaged. Well, none of the trees in the park should be damaged, but these ones have fruit that people can pick, and they were planted by Sutera Town Twinning Association, which is from Sutera, a town in Italy, and this is obviously relevant to the Italian bocce groups who play here. And
did you ever fly then?
A fly, yes.
Oh, wow.
And it would be a real shame if the Italian men saw some of their trees get damaged. There was another one over there, and it's had to be removed because it was severely damaged. It was a Victoria plum, and it had fruit, and it was so severely damaged that I remember it died, all the leaves came off, and eventually they had to just remove it because it was in such bad condition, all rotting, and this is because, I assume, it had an infection or something because of the broken branches and the exposed flesh. No. And there was also a small newly planted tree there which also died I don't know if
It was a pear tree.
yeah, pear tree. I don't know if it was infection that killed them or just the sheer damage, that it was too much for the tree to handle, but it was definitely due to the damage from people breaking the branches and just putting force on the tree that caused them to die. In the summer, when it's busy in here, you can see lots of children climbing in the trees, and that's fine. It won't damage them if they're just climbing on them, if they're sturdy and mature trees. But when they start hanging on the branches, that's when it starts to damage them and eventually kill them if people keep doing it. We've seen children deliberately trying to break them, jumping up and down, trying to break them off.
And breaking them.
Obviously, because they're young, they probably don't know the impact of this, but perhaps some leaflets can be made or something, or posters to make aware the impact to parents and children of damage.
There appears to be a lack of control of the children in the park by the parents accompanying them.
Yeah. One person that we know has a whistle, and he whistles at parents or he whistles at children if he sees them climbing in the trees, and they quickly stop, and the parents tell them not to do it again, and that just helps keep it down. And there's another friend of ours in the park who always shouts at children if they do it, or just makes parents and children know that they shouldn't be doing it, so they don't do it in the future. We don't mean to sound horrible against children or parents or be miserable. This is a historical and beautiful park, and it feels wrong to just sit here and see it all being destroyed, starting by the trees and also in other areas. There's ancient brickwork all around the park. You can see over there it's rotted, and
Not rotted, been vandalised.
yeah, and there are artisan bricklayers who come here and restore parts of the brick wall, but some of these bits have just been left to rot, and now so much of it has gone, it's going to be very difficult to restore them back to a state where they're strong. This is part of Theobald's Palace, which James I and Elizabeth I lived here, and it's just not very nice to see it neglected. There are other areas in the park, such as the Great War Centennial Corner, which is a war memorial, and it's not very looked after. These grounds were given to the people of Cheshunt in 1919 by Admiral of the Fleet Sir Hedworth Muse, and opened in 1921 under the agreement that the council, at the time Cheshunt Ermine District Council, but this has now formed into Broxbourne Borough Council, under the agreement that the council was to look after the park and provide the care that it needs. Today, though, it's neglected, and although they've added very nice things in recent years, thanks to the lottery grant, they received 1.89 million from the Heritage Lottery Grant. They added this bocce court, a maze here,
Which is also abused.
yeah, a garden viewing mound, wooden animals, plinths with the cast models of the old palace. They've added new signage around the park. They've done lots of things. The tank, they had a representative male Mark IV tank added, and a Great War Tommy statue, and a couple of nice benches. But the actual care that is required to keep it a nice park, they've added all these nice things, but the care that's required to keep them in good condition isn't really given to the park. There are a grounds maintenance team from Best, and they do their best to keep it nice, but there aren't enough of them, or not enough.
Or enough supervision by the council to ensure it's looked after properly.
And there aren't really enough of them to look after the park properly, or the council aren't giving them the correct orders to of what needs to be done, so they don't really know how to keep the park nice. But general things such as cutting grass and
Litter.
keeping litter down is okay. But there is some litter, but it's generally quite clean in the park compared to others in the area. There are areas in the park's care that are in need of significant improvement because the park isn't in very good condition at the moment in many areas. Although in the good areas, as I pointed out, they're doing a good job, there are those things that need to be seriously considered and discussed in the council so that the park is looked after properly. Broxbourne Borough Council have received several complaints from the public, as well as suggestions for things that need to be improved. However, none or very little of these have been done or acknowledged in a way that says that they may consider doing it in the future. Most of them have just been dismissed in a strange and disappointing way. As you can see here, the bocce court surface is quite uneven. We and the Italian group who play here each have a broom that we bring here when we play. However, there are some other players here, visitors to the park, who don't have brooms, and when they come to play here it's uneven and the quality of their game isn't very good. Eventually a new sand layer should be put on top of this, or this dug up and a fresh one put on, so that it's smooth without these rocks, because it's quite thin at the moment and there are rocks and dips that cause balls to go in different directions. As you can see here, the bocce court surface isn't very smooth. It's got bits that are just a bit rocky, like this, pieces that come out, and there are also some dips, but this part here has been filled in a bit, which is quite good. If the court is properly re-sanded or treated so that there is a smooth surface, county games can be played here, and it can be used for proper sports events as well as casual games, which is being used for now. That's all I wanted to say in this video. Thank you for watching, and if you would like to show your support for the views expressed in this video, please leave a comment on it or email us at the email address in the description section of the video. Thank you.